Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Mensch. Today, I'm going to configure Cinnamon, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about my configuration files for Qtile and the awesome window manager. So, let's get to it. So right now I have my display manager, LightDM, up and running, and I'm going to click on, well, awesome is clicked on, so let's go into awesome. Put my password in. And we're in the awesome window manager. And I'm going to open up a terminal. And you can do, to get into the configuration file, the awesome configuration file, you can do config. We'll take you in there. But if you're not using my Zash configuration file, then you're going to have to do cd period config slash awesome. Hit enter, ls it, and vim into that rc lua file. Vim rc lua. It takes you in. But like I said, if you're running my configuration, if you're running my Zash configuration file, you can just do vim, config. And let's go to the top. So this is the top. I'm just going to show a few things. I'm not going to do a detailed thing about awesome. So these are where, so my menu, this menu, that's this here. That's this here. So if you want to add something into it, just put it in. Now you can see Brave is commented out. So in the awesome window manager, if you want to deactivate a line, you put 2 dashes. Instead of putting the number sign or the hashtag, you put 2 dashes. So these things won't show up in the menu because they're deactivated. And Brave, if you use my configuration file to do your setup, Brave is not even installed because Brave is from the AUR and you have to go in there and install it from the AUR, and Tor is not installed either. And there might be some other thing. OpenShot. Now OpenShot is, I believe, OpenShot is a video editing program, but it won't be installed either. Now, even though I have it activated in the menu, it's dead. So if I go here and do OpenShot, it's a dead link because I don't have OpenShot in. OpenShot was not installed in my auto app. It's not part of my auto app installation, so you're going to have to install it yourself. But if you decide to use OpenShot, at least it's in the menu. And so if you are here and you're clicking on something and it's not working, it's not opening, probably it means it wasn't installed in your system. It's not part of my auto app configuration file to install apps. You could go into a terminal, and if you're running my Zash configuration file, you could do this. But this command will only work if you have my Zash configuration file. Hit enter, and it's going to list all the apps in alphabetical order that are installed on the system. And you can use your arrow key to go down, or your J key to go down. Now, you could do a search. So you could do hit the front slash, forward slash, and let's search for Firefox. Hit enter, and we can see at the top I have Firefox installed and Firefox uBlock Origin, which is the ad blocker. Now let's try OpenShot. Open. So it's not there. Could do next. And here's where all my opens are. So I have open all, open core, open EXR, open JPEG, open MPI, open mix, open SSH, open SSL, and that's the end of my opens. So like I was saying, if you go back here, if you go back to the menu and something's not opening, it probably means I left it in the menu, but I don't have that app as part of my auto app installation configuration script. And in other words, it's not in your system. That's number one. Now, mod key P, or the Windows key P, opens up this menu on the top. You can see it, and you can type in, let's say, Firefox. And it brings you to Firefox, hit enter, and it's going to open it. Now, that menu is built in. That's in the default Awesome Window Manager. That will be there if you just installed the regular default Awesome Window Manager without my scripts. That's going to be there. And when you install a new app and download and install a new app, it's automatically going to go into that one on the top. But when you install a new app, it's not going to go into this menu automatically. You're going to have to put it in, and you're going to put it in by going here and adding it in just like that. Okay. And so, for instance, if you install Alacrity, which is a terminal emulator, you're going to have to take out these two lines to activate the line. Okay. Now, if we type in Firefox again, now we're down to the key bindings. So these key bindings here, starting at Firefox, I added all these in. So these key bindings are not in the default Awesome Window Manager, and I added them in. So mod key, or the Windows key, F, is going to open up Firefox. And I have the Bluetooth mod key, control mod key is going to open up, B is going to open up Bluetooth, but I have it deactivated. It's commented out. So if you want this to open up Bluetooth, now Bluetooth is installed. It was installed in my auto apps. So it will be installed if you ran my script. And if you want this to be activated, you have to take out these lines and activate this paragraph. And Windows key, or the mod key, Control B, will open up your Bluetooth. PCMan FM is a file manager, right? If you open it up here, that's PCMan FM. It's a file manager. You can see it's mod key Control P. So if I go Control mod key P, it opens up my file manager. And let's go back. And the same Nemo. Nemo is a file manager that comes with the Cinnamon desktop, and the Linux Mint people are the ones that developed it. And if you do mod key Control N, it should open up Nemo. Now you can open up Nemo this way, right? That's just another file manager. That's all it is. Or you could open it up, Control mod key N. Opens up that way, and so forth. And you can go down and take a look at these. And Vert Manager is not installed, but if it was, you could do mod key Control V, and Vert Manager would open up, and so forth. And you can look at these. I put all these key bindings in, and most of these key bindings are the same in my Qtile configuration file. Not all. There's a few that are different, but most of them are the same. And Brave browser, I have it commented out, have it deactivated, right? So you could do mod key B and Brave would open up, and so forth. So that's how the key bindings work. And if you just do Firefox, and this is the menu. And this menu, you have to use mine or make your own, because in default menu, it's bare bones. So if you download another program, you're going to have to put it in the menu if you want it there, and you're going to have to put it in, make a key binding for it down below if you want to have a key binding for it. But if you do download a new app, it will automatically go into, if you hit mod key P, this menu up here will automatically go into there. You don't have to put it in. So what I want to do is, let's get out of here. Let's quit. Let's close this. Let's quit. And now I'm going to go into Qtile. I'm going to put my password in. And of course, the mouse doesn't work in Qtile. Well, it does work for changing workspaces. And it will work in Firefox or any of your other apps, but it doesn't really work in the window manager. It's all key bound. It all works by key binding. So you can do mod key P, opens up your terminal. Now you can get into the configuration file by typing in, if you have my Zesh configuration, you could do Qtile Config. It takes you in there, and that's too big. Or if you don't have my Zesh, you could do cd config dash Qtile or /Qtile. Now we're in there. And then you can go into this one here, config pi. Right? So do vim config pi. And you're in there. Like I said, if you're running my configuration file, if you're running my Zesh configuration file, you can just do Qtile config. Hit enter and you're in there. And let's just do /Firefox. And these were all the key bindings are. So you can see, for instance, mod key B will open up Brave, but Brave is not installed in this system. The Brave browser, that is. Mod key F will open up Firefox. Mod key control T will open up Tor web browser, but Tor is not installed either, unless you go and install it yourself. And go down. The mod key H will open up HTOP. Mod key C will open up Calculator. Mod key control P will open up PCman FM, just like it was in the Awesome, right? Control mod P. Okay, there's my file manager. And so forth. Mod key R will open up Rhythmbox, a music player. Mod key O will open up LibreOffice, and so forth. So let's just get out of here. Now what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? Clear the screen. I'm going to do vim xedit rc, and I'm going to make it so we can log into Cinnamon desktop environment through the TTY using StartX. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out or deactivate this Qtile line, and I'm going to delete the number sign for Cinnamon, and I'm going to save it. And I'm going to turn off LightDM. I'm going to do system sudo system control disable LightDM. I'm going to put my password in, and I'm going to reboot. So now it's going to take me directly into the TTY, and we're going to log into Cinnamon that way. All right, I'm going to type in mensch, put my password in. Now I'm in the TTY, I'm going to type in StartX, and it's going to take me to the Cinnamon desktop. And I'm going to configure it really fast though, because I've done this lots of times in many videos, and I'm trying to make this not to be too long. So since I installed this particular virtual machine, I haven't logged into Cinnamon. This is the first time I'm logging into Cinnamon in this particular virtual machine. So you only have to change the resolution once, and then that's fine. So I'm going to go into here, Start menu, Display. I'm going to change this to 1360 by 768, but probably if you're running in bare metal, you probably want to do 1920 by 1080, right? But because of the virtual machine and the resolutions in virtual machines are a bit off or awkward, and I also want it to be nice and large so you can see it in the video, I'm going to make it 1360 by 768 and apply it. I'm going to keep the configuration. You only have to do this once. So next time I log into Cinnamon, it's going to be there. Next thing I'm going to do is go into themes. And I'm going to make a dark theme. And I'm going to go to advanced settings. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to add and remove. I'm going to click on add and remove, and it's downloading more themes, or the most current themes right here. Okay. And I'm going to type in Adara. Adara Dark, it's the one I like for Cinnamon. and it's downloading it. Then I'm going to go back to themes. I'm going to go here, click it on, and there it is there, Adara Dark. I'm going to click it on. Then I'm going to go to icons, and I'm going to change it to Papyrus Dark. And I'm going to go to applications. I'm going to change this to, let's do Ottawa Dark. And then I'm going to close this. Then I'm going to go and change the background. Now if you ran my run config file, you're going to have 3 wallpapers in there in your home directory. So I'm going to hit this plus sign, and I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to hit home. I'm going to open it. I'm going to click on Mensch. Oops, I'm going to click on Mensch. And I like this one. And I'm going to close it. Now, of course, you can add any wallpapers or pictures into your home directory. And I'm going to, oops, I'm going to click it on, oops, date and time settings. This is really easy. I'm going to turn on network time. I'm going to, oh, it's asking for my password. Use 24-hour clock, I don't like. Display date, yes. And let's go out of there. Let's go to fonts. I'm going to change this to sans bold and kick it up to what, 11 or 12. And then I'm going to go right click this bar. I'm going to go to applets. I'm going to download. See, it's downloading all the applets, making them all current. And then I'm going to highlight weather, and I'm going to download. Click on this download button. Then I'm going to click on manage, and I highlight weather, and I'm going to add it. And what I'm doing is I'm adding the weather app, and then close it. So now we have the weather app. Okay. And pretty much that's all I like to do. Oh, and a few more things. I go into settings, and you know what? Let me move my face back down here and make settings big. And for cinnamon, I go into screensaver because I don't like it. I turn it off. And then I go back and I go to Power Manager right here. And I turn that off too. I don't like it. And that's it. That's what I do for cinnamon. And what else do I do? And see, it looks nice. I like dark themes. And there's all your programs. Sort of like a Windows XP. And of course, it's the same cinnamon that comes with Linux Mint, because the Linux Mint developers are the people that made the Cinnamon desktop environment. It's easy to use, it's user-friendly. Supposing you want to change your wallpaper in the awesome window manager or the Qtile window manager. There's 2 ways to do it. One, you could download a wallpaper app and have it running in Qtile and the awesome window manager. Or you can just go into the configuration files and put a wallpaper in. Now, the advantage of doing it the hard way is that you're using less RAM because you don't have a wallpaper application running in the background. The advantage of installing a wallpaper app is that if you're changing your wallpaper all the time and you're always changing your wallpapers, you get tired of the wallpaper and you want to have a different wallpaper on, it's probably better to download a wallpaper app and have it running. But like me, I'll put a wallpaper up and I'll keep it up for 6 months or a year. And if you're that type of person, you could just do it in a configuration file. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm in a terminal. So I have 3 wallpapers installed. And you know what? I'm going to log out. I'm going to add this wallpaper to my awesome window manager. Okay. So what I'm going to do is log out. I'm going to do clear the screen. I'm going to do xinit rc. Well, so I got to Vim into it. Vim, Xedit, RC. And I spelled it wrong. Okay, there it is. I should know better. And this video is getting longer than I intended. I'm going to activate the awesome line. And I'm going to comment out the cinnamon line. And I'm going to save it. And of course, I'm in the TTY right now. And I'm going to do start X. So we're going into awesome. I'm going to get rid of this wallpaper and put that other wallpaper in. So that other wallpaper is in my home directory folder. It's right here. Oops, let's open the terminal. It's right here. It's called dark cyan. So what I'm going to do is you can do themes, and it's going to take you into the proper configuration file. So this is the awesome configuration file where wallpapers are. Now, if you're not using my Zesh configuration file, then you're going to have to do cd period config / hit enter, ls it, and then you're going to have to go into this theme file, theme Lua, right? So if you do vim theme Lua, takes you in there. But like I said, if you're running my dash file, then you can just do theme. Hit enter and you're there. So let's go to the top. So you're going to scan down, and here's some wallpapers. So now this on line 100 is the default wallpaper that's running for the awesome window manager. I'm going to comment it out. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 dashes there. That deactivates the line. And now I have these other lines here, and this is the one that I'm going to activate. So now I've activated dark cyan. Now, the thing is that some of these other wallpapers might not be in your system. They're just leftovers from something I didn't clean it, that I used to use, and I didn't clean it up when I put this into my GitLab repository for the viewers. You people are not in the system and they won't work. And now the other thing is that if you put your own wallpaper into the system and you want it to show up in awesome, and you want to do it this way, you're not going to use a wallpaper app, you have to make sure it's pointed in the right direction. So do you have your wallpapers? Are they in a wallpaper folder? So like this dark cyan is in my home directory. It's not in a wallpaper folder. But if your wallpapers are in a folder, then you're going to have wallpapers here. And you're going to have to direct it properly to the directory or the folder where it is. And it even has to be spelled right. So if your wallpapers folder is spelled with a capital W, then you have to have a capital W in there. If the wallpaper, like this one, is spelled dark cyan with a capital D and a capital C, you have to have it spelled properly. So it has to be spelled properly, and it has to be directed towards the folder where your wallpapers are. So anyways, I'm going to save the file. I'm going to close the terminal. And I don't know if you can hear those sirens out there. I don't know if it's fire engine or police. Something's going on out there. Hope the mic is not picking it up. And we're going to restart. Let's restart it. And there we have it. I manually changed the wallpaper in the awesome window manager without using a wallpaper app. And of course, you can download a wallpaper app from the official Arch repository and just use a wallpaper app in the GUI. It's a lot easier. And it's better to do that if you're going to be changing your wallpapers every day. But if you're going to put a wallpaper in and use it for 6 months, you can do it this way. Now you can do this with Qtile as well. So let's get out of here. Let's quit. Let's clear the screen. Let's do period xedit rc. Let's deactivate the awesome line. Let's activate the Qtile line. Let's save the file. Let's clear the screen. Let's start X. So now we're in Qtile. Now, this wallpaper in Qtile is not a wallpaper that comes with the Qtile default. I put it in. And again, with Qtile, you can do the same thing. With Qtile, you can download and install a GUI wallpaper application from the official Arch repository and use that. And it's better to do that if you're going to be changing your wallpapers all the time. But if you're like me and you use wallpaper once a month, sorry, if you're like me and you put a wallpaper in and keep it there for 6 months or a year, you can do it this way. And this is just, you're going to do it the same way here as we do it in the Awesome Window Manager. So we're going to open up a terminal, which is mod key enter. And I'm going to make it a little larger. And you're going to type in Qtile Config. Okay, takes you there. Or if you don't want to, if you don't have my Zesh configuration file, you could type in cd config /Qtile. That's it. And you're going to go into the configuration file, config.py. You're going to vim into config.py, right? And you're there. Let's quit out of there. Let's cd it. Like I said, if you're using my Zesh, just do Qtile config. Hit enter. And let's just go to the top. And what I'm going to do is hit the slash. I'm going to type in wallpaper. Oops. And there we are there. We're in wallpapers there. So all you got to do is, this is already set. All you got to do is type in the wallpaper. It has to be typed in exactly the way the file is. And it has to be directed into the folders where you keep your wallpaper. So if your wallpaper is in a wallpaper folder, then you're going to have to type in wallpaper, and it's going to have to be spelled right with the right capitals or small letters. It's going to be just like you're going to do in here the same way I showed you how to do it in the Awesome Window Manager. So let's change this to dark cyan. Okay. So let's we're going to change, and we're going to make dark cyan. So I have dark cyan is in my home folder. It's not in a wallpaper folder. And remember, dark cyan is spelled with a capital D and a capital C. Like that. Okay. So, and you can also see here, there's a line, wallpaper mode equals stretch. Let's save the file. Let's log right out. And let's do start X and go back in. And it didn't work. So why didn't it work? There's a reason why it didn't work. Did I spell it wrong? Let's open up. Let's do ls. Oh, darkcyan.ping. That's why. Okay. Let's go back to the other workspace. I spelled it wrong. I forgot to ping. .png. Okay. Now let's save the file. Let's quit out of there. Let's quit out of there. Let's just go back into it. Start X. And there we are. We changed the wallpaper manually in Qtile. And that's it. In this video, I quickly showed how I like to configure Cinnamon, the Cinnamon desktop environment, and how easy it is to configure it. And I also showed where my configuration files are for the Awesome Window Manager in Qtile. And I also showed how to change the wallpaper manually without using a wallpaper application in Qtile and the Awesome Window Manager. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.